I think right now, as
Good point, yeah.
yeah, as your second pick, it's very common right now for the North American teams to pick their carry. If they're second pick, they'll pick their carry second, right? Because the last one in the phase, and they tend to choose. I think it's now kind of a Spectre or TB game. You know, either or is really hard to counter. Your 3 bans afterwards protect them, and then your mid laner is safe no matter what if you're second pick. So I really think that you just have to choose to ban one or the other, and then you have to suffer the other guy. And it's difficult, because on TB you can beat him more with tempo, but it's harder to counter him as a hero.
Much harder to beat in tempo.
Yeah.
Neither is an easy game.
Yeah, because with TB, like, you're much more worried about his late game single target damage, but with Spectre, you're much more worried because if you leave her alone, she'll get her farm machine and join any fight. But her late game is perhaps slightly weaker.
It is. TB's Spectre matchup certainly is TB's favorite. I personally just think that right now in the meta, second pick is too strong.
I think second pick is too strong?
Yes. I talked to a couple captains from C, and they also think the same thing.
Speaking of C, it's the general consensus in C, it's more or less the same. Second pick is so strong, carries get picked up because you can protect the carry being that second pick.
I also think that the advantage of that is also because of the last pick, which is a big thing. You can take a hero that counters so many.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I think
that's like where you're going.
Everything about it is amazing. The fact that you can pick up a carry, like you say, protect them, but then pick up a mid laner which will win his lane no matter what, that's ridiculous. And to me that also happens because a lot of the consistent mid laner pools, those mid laners that don't care if they lose the lane, have been thrown out. TA is unplayable. Konka is not that great either. So you're left with Ember, Void Spirit, which tend to get banned as well. Some people have tried the Magnus maybe as a consistent mid laner, but then you go into worse, right? The Konka TA, which are the kings of the consistent mid, are out of the meta.
Well, like Viper and DK and things like that, but we don't.
Yeah, DK is also out.
We haven't seen DK this.
Viper, I wouldn't even say is that consistent anymore because you can actually beat him. He's just a bit useless in the mid game compared to like a TA or like a Konka.
One thing I want to talk about both teams actually, going away from the meta, going specifically, is that both teams have interesting carry picks in both their games. We had the Razor and Lifestealer for G Pride.
I was surprised by the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and whereas Quincy Crew took the Troll, Warlord, and Morphling, who again, no one else has picked these 4 heroes.
That's a Yawar special.
Yeah, and didn't work out for either team very well though. I mean, well, the Lifestealer did very well. But as we go, that game was.
I think the Morphling was a good idea. I think to me that the second game for Quincy seemed more up to execution than draft. I do find that the Morphling versus TB should be a pretty good matchup, right? You bring a lot of magical damage, you can abuse his meta because you can transform into him. I don't think that's a bad matchup, but Morphling is also an incredibly hard hero to play. I'm not going to go and say pro players can play him. Of course, everyone's at that level, but he is a hero that if you're talking about ease of execution, Morphling is the last person that you want to pick.
Yeah, it's very difficult to bring that to bring that hero always to its full potential. And I also like think of Spirit Vestal and the sort of heal reduction that you can get. AA and Spirit Vestal, these 2 things can really make Morphling's game. It's just impossible.
And you don't have last pick, right? Assuming the TB gets picked, it's most likely when they have second pick. So you don't have last pick, so you have to reveal the Morphling before the enemy team first of all bans it, and before as well that you get the last pick, so they can counter him too. So that's why Morphling is not that great, because Morphling is much better reserved for the last pick or something like that, because there's a lot of counters.
Actually, speaking of those new heroes, Avo, I want your opinion on the South American teams, because I personally do not follow the scene. I'm normally asleep when that happens. But how do they sort of approach group stage matches? Do they use those matches to trial new strategies, or do they decide to just try hard every single time to secure their position?
No, it's much more of experimentation. At least the top tier South American teams, which I know for a fact that both Beast Coast and Thunder do this, as they've told us. So they do experiment in the group stages. In fact, Beast Coast sometimes, I almost find like they're calculating their group stages to a T, because they'll be like just barely getting into upper bracket, just barely, with 1 point extra.
But then they decide, okay, let's try this.
Yeah,
in our elimination match.
So I know that they do it. I don't think that Infamous does it. I think Infamous is just trying to find their team first. They're not advanced enough to experiment. It's similar with G Pride, right? I think you can start experimenting once you're comfortable with your playstyle and how you define yourself. But you can't experiment before that. If your team is not working, you're never going to be sure if your draft is the problem or if your execution is the problem.
Yeah, because G Pride hasn't had major success.
They're just a new team.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to do anything incredible. So they have to just figure it out as they go. Whereas Quincy Crew comes in with a lot more under their belt. 5 first place with first place finishes in tournaments just so far.
Longevity is important to me a lot in Dota. I think figuring out each other's playstyle. I don't think I've ever seen a player and go, this guy's bad. You know, most players that you see badly is just because the team is not working around them.
Yeah.
And that's the only problem I see in Dota. You know, anyone can be good in the right team. And that means that teams take a while to find their footing most of the time.
I wonder how what we're going to see MSS play today. Last time we saw him, he wasn't really playing his standard heroes, you know, like the Phoenix or the Earthshaker. I'd like to see more of that because
ES, but
The big team fight heroes.
the big team fight heroes, you know, because when he goes into the clockwork or the tiny or things like that, you know, the more active early game, slightly less impactful late game, not as comfortable for him. He likes to have the fight center around him, you know, the big echo slam.
I think the clock of MSS is really. I would
yeah,
agree
I
with
mean, I'm
that.
not saying he's bad, but just,
No,
it's
but
like,
I mean, like, that's one of his. It used to be one of his signature heroes when he used to play offlane, because MSS plays a relative sacrificial position, which I think is why the teamfight heroes are good, because you go in, you do your ultimates, whatever it is, and then you die if need be. MSS is happy with that. So I don't mind the clockwork. I agree with the tiny pick. I do find that Rubik is okay at MSS, but I do like him being more of an initiator.
Alright guys, apologies for the delay, but it looks like the draft is finally ready. So let's jump into game 1 of our first matchup of the day, Quincy Crew versus Gorilla's Pride. Oh, we're pretty deep in the draft as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so full draft.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Wonderful.
So we have a new hero
The
that we haven't
spirits,
seen.
all four.
Oh, the Witch
All
Doctor.
four
Oh, wow.
spirits. And the
You
lead.
said, okay, hang on. Who said no Earth Spirit ban?
We
both of them.
did.
We both
Both
agreed.
the-
We said
so-
the three good ones and the Earth Spirit. It's like Earth Spirit who doesn't care.
So Storm. Oh no, hang on. No, all of them are banned.
All of
Yeah,
them are
they
banned,
all banned the Spirit
banned.
Brothers.
They're all
yeah.
banned. Oh,
I mean, sure.
And the
yeah,
Lena.
might as well. Yeah, they're banning
Queen of,
Quinn.
Queen of Pain's going to be banned maybe,
Okay,
or
so
Monkey King.
I want to sort of kickstart this discussion because I'm looking at Quincy Crew already. You've got Darkseer and Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is a new face, but what is kind of going on here? Because this is massive team fight from Quincy Crew.
Purple Strat. That's
Purple
what we're going.
Strat. Okay.
The Witch Doctor, actually, I've seen. I know that a lot of the North American teams really like the Witch Doctor because he is a great offensive hero in the lane.
Yeah.
The fact that he has a high attack damage and Maledict means you combine it with most heroes that are a bit offensive and it works nicely. I'm pretty sure that Darkseer is going to be a 4, though.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He's with that talent, 15 and 400 health. With the
He's
eyes,
so
is
good.
so good.
Zoomers have been doing it a lot.
Yeah.
I know they banned it first phase for Zoomers
Every
every
time
time.
against them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Quincy Crew, G-Pride might consider leaving the Queen of Pain, taking the LC, and trying to do what Zoomers did.
I like that idea
because
too.
you know they went for the heroes that they're scared of, the Void. Remember, these guys are way harder to control
Yeah.
than the Queen of Pain. Because Queen of Pain, at least you can focus on beating her in the lane.
I agree. I think Quap has also been weakened, you know, in the recent metas.
She did, yeah.
She used to be the best hero pretty much in the meta, and now it's okay. You can beat her.
Yeah, I feel like she's balanced now. You know,
She
like,
is.
she's not weak, but she's balanced, which
So
is
she was unbalanced.
She was
certainly
unacceptable.
Was. It was
Like,
unacceptable. You picked anything. You used to pick Kunkka, who used to counter her in the lane, and Queen of Pain's like, nah, I don't care. I'll beat you, and I'll beat you mid game as well.
But we do have the purple heroes like we talked about. Witch Doctor also feels like he brings a little bit of control. He's one of the best laners to have. He's got a great auto
Yes,
attack.
he's
The
great.
stun Maledict makes you don't want to trade with him. I like the hero a lot, but there is a Treant Protector. It could be a 5, it could be a 3.
Yep. I like the Witch plus the Darkseer as well, because we did talk about how vacuum combos are not
Yeah.
so great right now due to the BKBs. But if you go, I think the problem was that a lot of the old team fights were that vacuum was your only combo. You're supposed to get that vacuum combo or you don't win. You know, the Nyx plus Darkseer or whatever. A vacuum plus Maledict, which is very good. It's certainly a great team fight.
Maledict's in the main as well. Yeah.
Yes, but it's not as
Isn't this also a really huge counter to Darkseer? Because generally you pick up Darkseer because you want to utilize the carry's illusion, but Gyrocopter illusions by itself are pretty weak.
Yeah, they are. They're one of the least impressive stat-wise, you know, like his skills ring a lot, but not a stat. I'll go back to, oh, here we go again, what we got the Death Pump. Yep, they want to get Quinn's pick. early because
before it gets banned and he has no more mid heroes.
which means that G-Pride are now starting to go probably ban some of Yuar's heroes. Not sure if the Morphling will be on, but something like the Troll Warlord.
I think the Morphling is a good idea, to be honest. Morph versus Gyro is a nice matchup. 'Cause
Very true.
Morph kills him,
Well,
and
Morph is already
uses the
banned.
fly
Actually,
cannon.
sorry, Morph is already banned.
Oh,
By
they banned
Quincy.
themselves. I think it's fine for Quincy to play, to have the last pick on Yawar. I
Yeah.
do find that Quinn is a bit more flexible in the mid lane as he can play. Yawar is definitely your hard win condition every time. So I do find that last pick on carry is fine in this case. The DP also has a really good lane. There's no burst damage yet.
I wonder if either team will consider, G-Pride will consider Kunkka mid, because you do have the Clockwork, Hook Shot, Darkseer Surge. They are heroes you want to bring back, basically, if they try to run away.
That's true.
And not that bad versus Death Clock, I suppose.
I like
well,
that.
it's a
Yeah,
melee
it
hero.
is a bit bad.
I mean, it's not great, yeah.
I like the Queen of Pain actually for Cheap Light here. I know we were talking about how she's not the best, but she has a really good match against DP, and you kind of mitigate this fast lineup Quincy seems to be going for.
There you go, Queen of Pain. Well done.
Thank you.
So both heroes showing their mid early, relatively early, because it's like now we're gonna ban.
Yeah, we're not gonna waste. Yeah, I think it's because when you're first pick, one of the few advantages you have is the last two picks you do it simultaneously,
Yes.
right? So then you always pick the hero you think is gonna get banned. So here they probably said, right, we need the Queen of Pain. There's nothing as good as the Queen of Pain for mid, but for the off lane, there's tons of options, and you keep the flex pick of the Treant that you did mention earlier.
Well, Quincy Crew, it's much more obvious. They definitely want to carry, and there you go. Basil's Void is gone. We already know.
I like
Anti-Mage's
that. That was a really good pickup. I agree.
Basil's Void is gone. Anti-Mage is gone. Morphling is gone. TB is still in the pool here, and he can go against the Gyrocopter one-on-one. And you look at the G-Pride's lineup. Besides Rubik's Lift, nothing else actually stops him from using his spells. Like there's no. There's the homing missile, of course, but he can. There's nothing that goes through BKB.
Sonic Wave, that's it.
Sorry?
Sonic Wave overgrowth,
Yeah, Sonic
right?
Wave. No stun that can control him through BKB. You can, BKB while you're overgrowth. And I feel like if he just BKBs, he can just trade hits with them all day.
Yeah, I do find that you might need to buy the Terrorblade. I don't think this is traditionally, I wouldn't say this is the best Terrorblade game, but just because of how threatening he's been in the tournament, I'm more afraid of him than usual, right?
Yeah, Quincy Crew, I think you could take the Terrorblade. But we'll see what they think of G-Pride, though.
Oh, actually, you know what? If TB does come out, or if heroes like that, G-Pride could play and put the Queen of Pain in the offlane, which has been seen before. And she's quite strong against heroes like TB because of the constant harassment.
So you think that they could switch it off to the offlane Queen of Pain. But then
Which
again,
is why they ban heroes that both are good against Queen of Pain, right? Because what other heroes in the lane are good against Quap? It's Juggernaut, Lifestealer, PL, and all these heroes are a bit weak.
Lifestealer has been picked by G-Pride, though. So they don't mind playing the Lifestealer, actually.
Actually, the LS fight for Quincy is not. I don't like the hero, but it's not too bad. LS with DP is really strong. The Lifestealer with Darkseer is very good. I actually wouldn't mind if Quincy went for something like that.
Did they miss? I think they missed the ban.
I think they missed the ban.
They didn't ban anyone in time.
What was that strategy? It was one team, one of Mushi's old stacks
I
used to do
remember,
0 bans.
yes.
That was wasn't that Zephyr?
No, what was it? No, that's like I remember that Darer. I think it was Darer or something. Like, it's one of the oldest teams.
I'm very sure Zephyr also did this. It was literally the no ban strat. They
Yeah, the
didn't
no
ban
ban
anything.
strat, because then you can't, like, the enemy team can't ban enough heroes. Then you
They
can just
can't
pick what
ban
you want.
everything, so you're going to get something, but they get something as well.
It wasn't going to be offlane. Oh, there we go.
Ah, nice flex.
Very, very
so that you can
flexible.
put the Queen of Pain in the offlaner. That's very clever by G Pride.
I really like how G-Pride does.
Yeah.
Green heroes, not purple, and very creative with them. So we got we've seen Nature's Prophet out carry Medusa.
Yeah.
And
he's really good in the lane against DP as well.
Yeah.
So they actually both beat the mid lane. This is very clever. You know what I like? Now seeing this, I actually like the Sven, to be honest.
Sven is pretty solid. We've seen him really do well this tournament, and what they're going to go with as well. Well done.
Sven.
All right, like this guy today
My
on
day.
fire, on fire.
Yeah, I like both drafts.
It's
I actually
offlane.
love what G
It's
Parade.
offlane Treants, by the way.
Yeah, offlane. Oh, offlane Treant.
Yeah.
Right.